So I took my 36-volt e-bike apart to investigate the possibilities of using it for a generator in the wintertime when I'm not using it for anything else, and putting some wings on it. I've got the remkick wings flying out here and on a brush type motor, and I thought, I've had this bike for a while and the motor is doing just fine, but I thought I'd maybe investigate taking it apart. So first thing I did was flatten the tire so that it'll come out from between the brake pads here. Otherwise you have to take the brake pads off, the brake lever or cantilevers off to get the tire past it. So quick way, just flatten the tire. A couple of places you have to be careful. The bike is, or the motor is plugged in back here. Where is that thing? I'm looking in the wrong spot for some reason. Now, why can't I find it? My viewfinder. Oh, there it is. So it's plugged in back here, and you just have to get that. It's so big in my viewfinder I couldn't see it. That's that big black thing right in the center is the plug. You can see the two tabs sticking out. So that's got to be unplugged before you take the wheel off, but it's got these two little clips right there. Oops. Come on, focus. If you focus too fast, it won't keep focusing on what you want it to. It's not going to let me anyway. Right in the center there's the two clips. Those two tabs have to be bent back, or you'll end up ripping your wire off as you're prying it off, thinking that it's just stuck on tight. So undo that, and then of course the bolts that lock through your hub straight through to the other side. The nuts on the ends of the shaft have to be dismounted, which I've done already, and then the bike wheel comes right out of there. But in taking the motor apart, there's as you can see, a few parts involved. This is a locking clip that locks this in place on there. It's a little difficult to get off. It locks in underneath a tab in here and holds that cover plate, dust plate, in place. Keeps everything sealed up nice. It's got a very, very tight fit on the inside here, which is good. Keeps all the dust and everything in. You want to make sure that as I'm going to put this back together now after I've found out what I have, I'm going to clean that up good before I slip it on, so it's got no friction grinding away at that surface there. Keep the two surfaces. That's a rotating surface, so you want to keep it clean. Now, even if it did get a bit of dust or dirt in there into the motor, it really wouldn't matter too much. You want to keep them reasonably clean, but it is, I found out, a brush type motor, unfortunately. I thought it was a permanent magnet motor, but it's not. Another thing that you have to watch when you're taking it apart is on this lever. This lever's on backwards. On this lever, this mounts on there like that, and the wire clips in behind it. And again, there's another point where you just might be tempted just to pry it off there, but don't. There's a tab back here that you have to pull this up just a little bit and then get a flat screwdriver or some similar device in there to bend that tab back so you can get that motor wire off there, otherwise you're going to rip the leads out. You don't want to do that. That's a big no-no. So I'll take that. This arm here locks onto the frame, and what that does is holds the motor in one position while the wheel rotates around it, and that's where you get your drive from. Or in my case, I was going to look for a generator, but it's not going to work. Now, on the inside is another problem for using this as a generator. It has a big reduction gear, or in this case, in the case of generating, a big step-up gear. Not only that, but from that gear, that little fine gear right there, into the motor itself is another step-up gear. So the resistance to this unit turning is extremely high. I mean, I can turn this with my fingers, but it's quite a chore, and in the even a lens type blade would have a heck of a time getting that going unless you were getting some high winds. So the low wind applications, this particular motor would be just a bag of crap. So there we go. We got about a 3-inch gear out there, and we have in here approximately a 3/4 inch gear head. Actually slightly smaller than that. So that's a big reduction, plus the reduction inside. I'm thinking that it probably is in the 20-to-1 range. So that's way too much for any wind machine to overcome, unless you put the blades way out. And for what you'd get out of this little motor, I don't think it's worth it. Find a different hub motor. This one from the e-bike. I don't know if there's a model on here. No, there isn't. It's not going to do the job. Sorry, folks. Oh, wait a sec. The motor plate. Heinzman. There's the specs on it. And here's the other specs on it. Bye for now.